Once, there was a king who had a problem. It wasn't a problem with dragons or wars or treasure. It was a problem with thorns. You see, this king had very, very sensitive feet. One day, walking in his lovely garden, he stepped on a rogue thorn from a rose bush. Ouch! It hurt. It was so unfair. The garden was supposed to be beautiful, not painful. The king had an idea, a very kingly idea. If thorns are the problem, he declared, then we shall remove all thorns. So he ordered his soldiers into the gardens. Chop down every rose bush, he cried. They did. But then he walked near the forest's edge and stepped on a prickly bramble. Ouch again! Burn all the brambles. And they did. But then a tiny sharp stone on the path dug into his foot through his silken slipper. He was furious. This cannot go on. Pave every path with the softest velvet. And so they began to try. Velvet was rolled out over cobblestones. Grass was trimmed so short it felt like a cushion. The kingdom grew quieter and softer and very, very strange. Birds didn't land, for there were no trees to perch on. Children didn't run, for the weird spongy ground felt wrong underfoot. The kingdom was becoming a pillow, not a place. Yet the king still had bad dreams. In them, he was lost in a wild, wonderful meadow, but his bare feet were always getting stuck and pricked. He'd wake up sweating. The fear of thorns was now bigger than any thorn itself. In his court was an old bootmaker named Eli. He'd watched the velvet madness with sad eyes. One morning, he came before the throne carrying not a petition, but a simple, sturdy pair of walking boots. They were made of good leather, strong but supple. The king scoffed. "More leather? I have covered miles with it." But old Eli just placed the boots gently on the velvet floor. "Your Majesty," his voice was as warm and worn as the leather, "you have spent all your strength trying to change the world to suit your feet. But the world is ancient and wild. It has stones, it has thorns, it has uneven paths. That is its nature. You cannot change that." He nudged the boots forward. "But you can change how you meet it. You don't cover the world, you arm the traveler. You don't soften the path, you strengthen the soul." The king was quiet. He looked out at his silent, velvet-draped kingdom. He looked at the boots. For the first time, he saw not an object, but an idea. Hesitantly, he took off his silken slipper and pulled on the boot. It felt solid, grounded. He took a step, then another off the velvet and onto a forgotten patch of real earth. He braced for pain, but felt only the firm, friendly support of the earth holding him up. He walked to the remains of a rose bush, a single thorny branch left. Gently, he pressed the sole of his boot against the thorn. The thorn could not touch him. A laugh burst from him, a real one, loud and free. It wasn't a laugh of victory over the thorn, but of freedom from the fear of it. He spent the next week walking, not on velvet, but on paths, real ones. Gravel crunched wonderfully under his boots. Forest trails welcomed him. He even found a new rose bush and admired its beauty without an ounce of fear. When he returned, he gave one order: roll up the velvet, plant the gardens, let the world be itself again. And to every citizen, from the smallest child to the oldest farmer, he gifted a pair of good, strong boots. The message was simple: the world is not always soft, but you can always be strong. Go explore it. And they did.